The big step. Throughout our lives, we go through all sorts of changes, or what we call transitions. We might move house or decide not to eat meat anymore and become vegetarian. One of the biggest transitions any of us will go through, though, is the leap from primary to secondary school. If you're already at secondary school, then you can jump right past this part of the book and land on the next section because you've made it, hooray. But if you're in your last few years of primary school, this is for you. The first you heard about the next step in your education journey would probably have been a few years ago, when the older kids in school, so sophisticated, grown up and mature, left the primary for a day and went to the secondary school up the road. Your school felt eerily quiet. Tumbleweed blew through the corridors. Break time was strangely empty. It was a bit, well, odd. When the older kids came back the next day, for a couple of weeks afterwards until the summer holidays anyway, it felt like order was restored. But your transition from primary to secondary school will actually begin much earlier than you might think. And your schools and teachers will be working together to ensure you are completely prepared. You need to know that you're going to the right place. Your parents or guardians are happy with it, and you have someone you can speak to if you're at all worried. The last thing anyone wants is for your first half term to be full of, oh no, what have I done? Moments. Schools want you to go there, but you need to know that it's the right place for you first, as do your folks. That's why what's called transition starts really early. I'm not talking about newborns doing algebra or scholarships being given out to kids on the back of a good finger painting in nursery, but early enough so that you're ready and can get it right from the start. Taster sessions. Sometimes schools will run taster sessions, even when you're only 7 or 8, but the main stuff will usually start in the year before you leave school. You might get invites to a load of open evenings and a taster day up at the local secondary. Teachers and kids might also pop down to your place to speak to you about what goes on there, what they think of it, and the opportunities you'll get. Sometimes children will come and deliver sessions, music, sports, drama or dance, or anything else actually, so you can get a feeling for the ethos of the school. When you're invited to stuff, my advice is this: go and do it. Even if your family has been going to the same school for the last 15 generations and your great, you get the picture, great granddad, who was a caveman and founder of the place and won best cave painting in 1278 BCE, it's still really important that the school you pick is right for you. Open evenings are fun too. You're not daft, I know, so I probably don't need to tell you this, but I will anyway. If the school puts pâté on toast on in the French department, is reenacting the Big Bang in science, and has a range of children who appear to be professional musicians rehearsing a full opera in the music department, I think you know that this isn't exactly how every day is going to be. There are a great number of days at school when it won't be anything like that. In fact, it might be quite, dare I say it, boring. Not as in falling asleep in lessons boring, but in the sense that you'll go to school, have some lessons, learn some stuff, see your friends, and go home. That's why you need to go through a load of open evenings and get to the root of the issue. In which one of the schools you visit can you see yourself being most happily bored on those days? You know the ones I mean. You wake up, the sky's grey, you go to pour your cereal and the box is empty, you stub your toe leaving the house, you have PE outside and it's cold and raining and you've got a headache. Your bus is also late and you have a load of homework due, which you haven't done, and you just don't want to get started on English. Who are the people to help you cut through it? Which corridors feel comfortable? Can you imagine yourself there? Can you look into the future and see yourself happy in those buildings, with those people, for 5 long years. You could even, if you're super organised, set up a spreadsheet where you mark loads of schools against things that are important to you out of 10. For example, warmth of the welcome, were people nice? 7 out of 10. What were the students like? Did you meet any? Did they help you out? 6 out of 10. What was the building like? Can you see yourself fitting in? 8 out of 10. What's the journey there and back like from home? Did it take you 17 hours and mean you needed to swim across a great river to get there? 7 out of 10. Count up your scores and have a look at what comes first. Even once you've had a look around, don't decide then. It might be like a bolt of lightning, and you might just know, but it's more likely that you'll have a couple of schools in contention. That's why it's important that you have a look early. But whatever you do, choose a school because it's right for you, not because your best friends are going there. There could be a particular school for performing arts, for example, and you may really fancy going, but none of your friends are. Would you be happy knowing that you didn't give it a go just because your mates weren't? For these sorts of decisions, a big cup of tea, the biscuit tin, and a chat with your family around the kitchen table might be needed. All these options and decisions might sound great, but if you live somewhere with only one secondary school nearby and there aren't lots to choose from, then don't worry. Find things out about the school early and talk to those lovely people inside it, whether it's a friend's older siblings, students, or teachers at the open day. They'll want to help you and make sure you're feeling good about the time you're going to spend inside those walls, learning loads of fantastic things. Any questions you have, just ask them.